Hey everybody. Okay, so I just got back from the range, and we were shooting this brand new um, Falling Block 1885 4570 made by Uber Eats, a recreation, not an original, so that I could shoot modern loads through it. This is the rifle that I'm going to be taking bison hunting this December. I'm really excited about it. It's a beautiful, beautiful gun with really nice woodwork and everything. And, the reason we transitioned to this instead of doing the bow like I originally thought we were going to has literally nothing to do with the new bow setup or whether or not you can take down a bison with a bow. Even though there was a lot of concern about that, you definitely can. People have been doing it for thousands of years. The problem that we are going to run into is that it's out in South Dakota and there are literally no trees. And the grass isn't very tall, and it's covered by snow in December out there. And so we're a big, dot that the bison are going to easily spot. And even though they're pretty comfortable with letting people get quite close to them because of how small we are, we don't necessarily scream threat to the bison. They're probably not going to let us get too close when they see us approaching. And I didn't really want to take like a 40 or 50 yard shot with a bow on a bison. I wanted to keep the shots within like 20 to 30, and it just doesn't seem like that's going to be very likely. So we transitioned up to a flat wall cartridge, pretty traditional rifle to be taking bison with. A lot of history behind this model of rifle and this type of gun taking down bison. And so, that's kind of why we transitioned to this. And I'll show you guys me shooting it, and then we'll kind of go over the results. Hey everybody. So today we're going to be shooting the 4570 Falling Block. We're going to shoot at 25 yards, and then we're going to shoot at 100 yards and see where the rifle's at, see if we need to adjust iron sights or whether we're going to be good to go on the bison hunt. Recoil is probably going to be a bit stiff, and I'm a light guy, so we're going to also be working on kind of handling that. But yeah, here we go. Oh. So right here we have our Winchester 300 grain 4570 soft tip. Kind of has like a little bit of a hollow point divot right there. And to load this thing, I might have already showed you guys in the comfort of the house, but you just pull down the lever, which opens up the barrel, insert the cartridge, and then you can close it up again, and your hammer's not cocked, which is pretty great. You can cock that once you're ready to shoot. So you can load the gun and then go hunting, and once you see the animal, you can just fire when you're ready. I'm going to get my earmuffs on, and then we are going to take first of hopefully very few shots. My shoulder is at least open. Debating whether or not I should stand or not. I think I'm going to do this standing. Just until we get a feel for that recoil. It's easier to get. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. The weight of the barrel really helped out there. So that ejected the cartridge as well, which is beautiful. Oh. Now, I think I might have jerked that just a little bit. So we're going to send one more of the Winchester and see if I can't get it a little bit closer to the bullseye. We are on paper, but we're at 25 yards, so I'd like it to be a little bit more accurate than that. So we're going to get another round in there. Getting the bullet to seat right is a little bit. There we go. No, does it for me. I like these guns. Got a lot of history and technology to them that I really like. Oh yeah. So that's definitely hitting like an inch low, but it's It's dead on. I like that a lot. Okay. Alrighty. So 25 yards, very short walk. What you can see right here, say a little silhouette target. That was our first round. So it was a little bit off to the left and low, and that's kind of me jerking it, I think. But then this one, I took real careful aim, and I aimed about here, and it hit here. So that's about, I don't know, 1.5 inches low. So we're gonna shoot this again. We'll still do the Winchester load. We'll shoot it at 100. See where it hits there. I think that still hit low. We're gonna sim one more, and we're just gonna aim at the head of the silhouette. Stay. Bullets about you guys. Holding the gun, or holding the phone up. Because that's hitting like, if that bullet just hit where I think it hit, it's hitting like fucking 1.5 feet low for 100 yards, which I don't think that makes sense. We're gonna find out though. All right, well, I hit there. Let's hold about there. Okay. Now I'm confused because that bullet hit the fucking mound about where I aimed. Okay, so that shot was money. I'll show you guys here, but we're basically aiming at the head of the silhouette to hit near around the bullseye, for which for 100 yards isn't too bad. Cool, awesome. So as you guys can see, we had some pretty interesting results with the gun. What it ends up basically coming down to is, with the ammunition that we have and the iron sights set up the way they currently are, we don't have any left or right windage problems right from the factory, which is awesome, right? It definitely doesn't always go that way. You always have to check iron sights. And again, I don't know a ton about shooting with iron sights. It's definitely a skill. It's an acquired skill. It's an acquired skill. But from basically what I was figuring out while I was out there, these sights are basically dead on at 25 yards. Like, don't need to fix a thing, like bullseyes. And it was hitting a little bit low, but that's because I wasn't holding it level with the back sight to the front sight. I was doing this weird burying it thing, which I really don't need to do with where the sight currently is. At 100 yards, we're hitting like 1.5 feet low. And it's because this rear sight is on the lowest setting. So I have a couple options, right? I can bump it up a couple notches and zero it basically for hitting at 100. So that it'll be pretty dead on there. And it'll just hit a bit high at 25, 50. My only concern with doing that is, and I'll show you guys. Hi. See right here, there is a single pin holding, right here, single pin holding the rear sight on its tract. And as you can see, it's on the lowest setting. It's not even really on any of the leverages yet. And so what I could do is I could pull that pin and reset it higher. Oh, sorry, y'all aren't even seeing it. I'm looking at my own thing. Reset it higher, which would then correlate with, higher impact for the bullet. So I could bump it up and basically zero the iron sights to 100 yards, or I could zero them to 50 yards and split the difference between the two. So I'm kind of debating back and forth what I should do for it right now. In my opinion, the fact that the windage isn't a problem, like at all, is pretty appealing once you pull that pin, because it's a single pin. Once you pull that pin, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get it right back on with good windage. And so I'm hesitant to do that. That being said, It's doable. So I wonder if it's just worth knowing, like, okay, at 100 yards, it's 1.5 feet. At 50 yards, it's, 6 to 8 inches low, and at 25 yards, it's dead on. And then just go shooting with that knowledge and just kind of practice a little bit more with the same ammunition. I don't know. If you guys have opinions or thoughts, feel free to drop them down in the comments. And we've got a few more months of playing around with this setup and figuring it all out, so I'm not super worried about it. I know before we go out there, we'll have this rifle ready to rock and roll. And worst case scenario, I'm going to keep the 300 Win Mag in the truck just in case shit gets squirrely. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully we can do this with the historically accurate rifle that a lot of other people have shot bison with over the history of America. So stay tuned for more.